Good to see you again. Let's have a little rap session. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been thinking about money and freedom, financial independence, and what that means for me. What that means for my life. What that means for my wife. What that means for my future children. And how to attain that goal. I haven't worked for 2 months. The last time I saw a patient was on March 20th. That's 2 months ago. And if you don't know what I do, I'm a dentist by trade. Trade, it's a profession. You go to professional school, but it might as well be a trade school. Let's be honest. So it's been 2 months. And in that 2 months, it's been a big transition. My wife and I, we moved out of El Paso. We moved to another part of the country. We moved into a rent house from a one-bedroom apartment. So we got in here, we're a whole lot more comfortable. We got a whole lot more money worth of furniture, like $7,000 of furniture, and we're comfortable. We're set up. We're getting some decorations up. My wife is happy. And I'm about to start residency training. I've alluded to that on this channel. I'm going into oral maxillofacial surgery residency. Literally, in 1 week, I will be, like June 1st is when I'm going in. The box, so to speak. The box. I haven't seen a patient, man. I haven't worked. I've done a little bit of paperwork for onboarding paperwork as far as my residency is concerned. But all I've done is, essentially set the house up, go furniture shopping. My wife and I, we went and traveled abroad. We went to Ireland. We traveled, we went back to my folks' house, we spent time there. We've been going on day trips in the community, seeing some stuff, going to eat at restaurants. Man, we have been living a pretty darn good life, if I'll say so myself. And I've been reflecting on that, reflecting on this time where I haven't had to treat patients. It's just been me and her. That's it. We don't have kids yet. And I've had the most freedom, essentially, that I've ever had in my entire life. Arguably. Because I'm in a financial situation where I was able to swing this transition. And it shouldn't come as a surprise for me to report back to you that not working for 2 months is pretty amazing. It's amazing. You probably aren't going to get to meet many people in the United States of America that can just take 2 months off. But this is a very special moment in my career, in our lives, and this just sort of happened. And so here we are. And I'm here to tell you that, it was amazing. And I don't miss work. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't have a script. I'm riffing here. I don't miss work. As long as it took me to become a dentist, right? You had college. You had dental school. That's 8, sometimes 9 years if it takes you an extra time. Or 10 years to get into dental school. And so that's a long path, right? You would think people that apply to that type of schooling, that they're going to be passionate about it, that's going to be their end all be all, right? They're going to love that job. But I think that for me, it's setting in more and more and more that I'm content. I'm content just living my life without work. What do you know? Not working is kind of fun, right? but I've done it. I have done that. But I can't sustain that, right? I don't own my home. I have some retirement. I don't have anywhere near enough assets to really do anything. And so it's got me thinking about the future and how I can possibly carve out some type of semblance for this life right now. I know Hey, high value DMD, you don't have children, you're not paying for sports or college or weddings and all of these things. I know that. I know oh, you don't even have a house, you have crappy cars. I know that. I want to get better cars, right? And you just took some vacations, right? You want to keep taking vacations. Yeah, I know. Like, there's a lot of stuff, right? And so it's like, how do I expect to do this? And that's kind of a black pill in a way, because it seems like it's not real. Like, well, it's not real, but it seems like it's only possible for the people that are truly born into money. I was joking with my friends the other day, saying, like, my ancestors failed me. They failed. They did not take care of business. They did not pass down generational life-changing wealth. And as a result, I'm here toiling away, trying to build it for myself and my wife. Like the royal family, United Kingdom, like the wealthy elites, right? Elon Musk's children, the Trumps, all of those people are just born into money. And with big estates like that, oftentimes there are like clauses, so to speak. There are conditions that must be met for someone to inherit money, right? You have to probably like live an upstanding lifestyle. You can't, be an alcoholic or a crack addict, right? You can't. You got to live a clean life, and you got to participate in the family business, and you got to show that you can successfully also be a good steward of this inheritance and pass this money down. So in that way, that's work, right? But let's be honest, like Don Jr., he doesn't physically have to labor. He doesn't have to deal with anybody he doesn't have to deal with. Right? I mean, he could just take his money that he's inherited and go on his merry way. I guess, unless they've got those strict things as a part of Trump's will. But heck, like Don Jr., his name and his last name, right? He can just make money with who he is. You have Prince William. I think of him and his son. I think he's got a son. Maybe it's a daughter. I can't remember. But like, point is, these people, they're just there. They just spawn into this world and they're there. And I'm thinking about, like, if for the last 2 months, if I got a good spawn, right? If you changed my spawn and I just came into money and all I had to do was not to be a dirtbag. Okay, don't be a dirtbag. Hey, DMD, do what you got to do. Live a clean life. Don't be a dirtbag. And here's $10 million. You don't have to really do anything. You can play guitar and just frick around over there. You can learn some carpentry for fun, not because you have to put milk on the table by cutting wood and building furniture, but just for fun, right? Oh, you can buy all the guns you need. You can go hunt. You can go do the white-tailed deer hunting you always wanted to do. You can go fly to Africa in business, or heck, first class. You can fly to Africa and hunt those animals that you want to hunt, right? So it's like, if I just spawn in differently, I could just do that. Boom, do that. But here I am with my whole life ahead of me, God willing, and I do have a strong income. I am a dentist. And yet, I don't know how, like, feasibly I could make it happen to where I wouldn't have to just, like, lift a finger. I could just, like, up and retire and live a pretty darn, like, good life, right? I could live a modest life, afford lunches, go do things, but heck, like, flying business class, heck no, like, if you're not going to lift a finger, right? I can't do that anytime soon, right? Like, afford pretty expensive clothes, afford a Lexus, afford a BMW or a sports car. You can forget that. Like, I could feasibly retire and not freaking do anything, but I live a crummy life. Some of you are watching this and you're like, well, yeah, of course, that's completely unrealistic not to ever have to work. But like I am now going from 2 months of this to then going back into hell on earth, into a surgical residency, like back into education, right? I was in education, now I'm going back into it. I've got a left and a right boundary, and I know what that's like, man. I know what it's like to have been in college, to stay up super late, toiling away on lab reports, trying to get that A. I know what it's like, man. And all like what is required is patience and consistency and frugality. But my wife is getting sick of me talking about money, talking about being frugal. I'm getting sick of it, right? Like there's days I get in our car and trust me, it's a decent car, it's respectable, it runs and drives, it's not a hoopty, it's not a what shite box, I'll just say that. But it's not a nice car. It's like I want to be frugal. I want to pour money into index funds, but I want to actually freaking live my life. But in doing and living my life and spending that money, oh, that's 8 to 10% of interest you're not making on that money to potentially retire one day. And here's the black pill, folks. Here's the biggest freaking fat red and black pill that I could swallow. So I could be a millionaire. I could foreseeably, like, let's just say in 4 years. Let's start with in 4 years. By the time I exit residency, I could potentially have a net worth of $500,000 if I steadily throw $3,500 to $4,000 a month into index funds, and we have good years, right? We get minimum 8% interest. If I chunk that money into index funds and never look at it, I could have $500,000, which that's not going to be hard for me because I'm going to be in residency training. And it's not like we need a whole lot to live nice, It's like this residency training, this education is forcing us to be just stay down, right? Don't get up, you don't have time for cool stuff. You don't have time for jet skis. You don't have time to go hunt. Right? No, frick you, just delay, be disciplined, throw your money into index funds, and you will only have $500,000 in net worth. And that's a lot of net worth, people. I get it. Some people would be like, dude, that's a lot of freaking money. Yes, it is a lot of money. But the freaking black pill is that really to do anything with that at 38 years old, really, it's like, oh, okay. It's like this lower intermediary. It's like, okay, you got $500,000. Okay, go work, dude. Go work. Like, okay, your kids are like what, 8 years old, 9, whatever, 7. Okay, like they just started, eating more. Like your grocery budget is just starting to about to go up, So that's the freaking black pill, man. It's like, to truly retire in this country, dude, you are a freaking rock star if you're 55. You're 55 and you're hanging it up. You are a stud. In 4 years, I'll be an oral surgeon. My income's going to go up. So the whole plan, that's also part of the black pill, is I am trying to be a surgeon because I like it. It's an amazing career. You get to do your own anesthesia. It's so interesting to me. And I'm good at science, right? I'm good at it. I'm good with patients. But the black pill, an additional black pill, is I am going to be an oral surgeon in order to try to increase my income such a frick ton amount in order to speed up this retirement plan or this semi-retirement plan. My dad is a construction worker. He's built custom homes. He's done a lot of different jobs. He was an insurance adjuster, like a loan officer, all these things. And he's worked his whole life, and he hasn't had discipline. But even if he was extremely disciplined, he could be retired by now. But I don't know if he could really swing to fly business class that often. Sure, he could eat out, he could do some stuff, but dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a bit of a doom video. I'm sorry, guys. This is a doom video. The point is, it's just tough, man. I look at inflation, and it's eating our lunch. Groceries are going up. Gas prices are really high. My wife and I, we're doing the right things. We're delaying gratification. We're chunking money into index funds. And I'm looking what we're going to end up with. And it's not enough. For me, it's not enough. It doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. It's not until you really probably hit $1 million that you are going to freaking like see some snowballing. So I'm hoping before I hit 40, I will be a millionaire. I'm hoping. I'm going to make that happen. And I hopefully think at that point, finally, we're going to see some momentum, right? I'm hoping to start a practice, moonlight as an oral surgeon, and make something happen. Maybe even start a business. Like you have to go and get a skill that makes a lot of money. You have to make $100,000. Like if you don't make $100,000 minimum, I don't know how you're gonna be able to do anything. Because like I make around $100,000, and it seems like we make that, and we're doing the right things, and we don't have a nice life. I feel solidly lower middle to middle class. And if you looked at our possessions, if you looked at our cars, you would think that. You would be totally unimpressed. You would see very average is how we would appear. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just a matter of patience and consistency and swallowing your pride, man. I'm not a trust fund kid. I'm not a Duke or Duchess's child. You know, there is no great uncle that left money for me, land for me. There is none of that. I will inherit some money. I don't want my parents to pass, of course, but I will inherit some money. Let's say 10, 15 years, 20 years. I will. At that point, it's like I'll be in my 40s, you know. I'm hoping to have my health. I'm hoping to be able to actually live like a freaking ballin' life in my 40s. So your 20s, your 30s, I hate to break it to you, that whole time is meant for toiling away, dude. It's meant for toiling the frick away. You go and be a little slave, be the little slave that you are. Go to your job, do what you got to do, kiss butt, clock in, clock out. Maybe go work your second job. And you save the frick out of your paycheck. You put it into index funds, and you be that little slave. And then you can wake up in your 40s, and yeah, then you can be somewhere. Then you can be somebody. That's how it feels, man. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's not all doom, okay? It's not all doom. My wife and I, we're in a very good position. We have our health. You know, like we don't have that much debt. In comparison to so many Americans, we are doing great, and we are blessed. Praise God for that. Truly. You know, there's two sides. There's that, the positivity, the white pill, right? The Christ pill. but there's also that difficulty on the other side of understanding of where you are not and what I can't have yet. And so with that, I will leave you. I hope I earned your subscription. I hope I earned your like, and I hope I earned your comment. Let me know what you think below. DMD out.